So we've been having a clash of the titans in this country. This one involves really giant corporations on one side, including this network's parent company, and really giant corporations on the other side, too. The two sides have been fighting about how much and whether the government should regulate traffic on the internet. You've got cable companies on one side who don't want, and telecom companies, right, who don't want the government telling them what to do. And you've got other companies, some small ones, some big ones like Google and Facebook, on the other side, along with a whole bunch of activists. And they're all worried about the cable companies making it harder to see certain stuff on the internet. People being able to pay to get their stuff out there, and people who can't pay getting stuck in the slow lane. In a fight like this, there's going to be a winner, there's going to be a loser. And honestly, yes, it is way more fun to watch gorillas fight about anything than it is to watch giant corporations fight about net neutrality and regulation of the internet. But there's also a very interesting political argument here that has been articulated in some weird ways. One side of that argument has been, in some ways, represented by the Glenn Beck wing of the conservative movement. Glenn Beck has moved on from his Hobbit kingdom at Fox News to the Hobbit kingdom he built for himself on the internet machine. Mr. Beck would now like to sell you a 1791 Bill of Rights cap, in case your patriotic ears get cold. He would also sell you some Bill of Rights jeans for when you're just lounging around your underground bunker. Glenn Beck would also most definitely like to sell you on the idea that this net neutrality thing, whatever that is, that will definitely, obviously, be the socialist end of the world.
This is truly about control. When you look at what they've tried to do, they've tried to take away your guns. They're trying to take away your voice. They need control of the internet. If we lose the internet and the government takes control of the internet, you will not be able to chart your own course online either. That leaves us exactly where? With a mimeograph machine?
They're taking away your guns, and they're making you use a mimeograph machine. It's all the same thing. I'll meet you in the basement. The Glenn Beck, they're coming for your keyboard side, they lost the argument today. The Federal Communications Commission today voted 3-2 for net neutrality and against the fulminations of the Glenn Beck side of the argument, right? To the extent that he was making a political argument here, he lost the political argument. But if the paranoiac Glenn Beck side of this lost, how do we understand who won and what do they get for a prize? And for the people who have been activists on this issue for years, while most of the rest of us have been wondering how it's all going to work out, how does today feel to the people who fought so hard to win this? Joining us now is Jenny Jardin, tech culture reporter, co-editor of boingboing.net, a grassroots supporter of net neutrality. Jenny, it's great to see you. Thank you for being here.
It's an honor to be here again, Rachel. Thank you.
I have been watching your reaction online to this today. I've been watching the discussion online today. I know that everybody is psyched, but can you explain to people who didn't previously care about this issue why you are psyched?
There is exuberance and joyous nerdcore rapping ringing out throughout the internet land today. There's also, I hear, a party for net neutrality advocates in D.C. with cocktails with names like Internet Libre. I know you're a fan of cocktails. There's just a sense of great excitement and triumph because this really was a victory of the people. Net neutrality is basically the idea that all network packets are created equal. And if you're into cat GIFs and I'm into dog GIFs, we both get to access the same stuff at the same speed, not, one being slower than the other because Comcast or Time Warner has a sweetheart deal with the people who make dog GIFs. The idea that content, that the videos, the blogs, the news reports, the everything that we like to share, to access, and to talk about online, that everything should be a level playing field. That's what this fight was about. And we won. And the people won, not the big companies with all of the money on their side. There was such a diverse group of grassroots organizations. There was, like, depending on how you count it, 4 to 7 million American citizens contacted the federal government, contacted the FCC to let our government know that preserving the status quo, preserving an open and free internet was important, and it is important.
How resilient is this decision? Obviously, I think people worried that this might not happen because of the amount of lobbying and the big money interest, particularly pressing for this to go the other way. Now that the FCC has made this decision, how long will it stick, and what will determine whether or not it does?
that would gut this. That's a high hurdle to pass. I do imagine, as many others do, that there's going to be legal challenges, that there will be lawsuits. But this law, the ruling that came down today, this is like the third round. Each round prior was challenged by lawsuits from the telcos, the cable companies, the trade groups who would profit from having the ability to charge for access lanes. That's a high hurdle to pass. I do imagine, as many others do, that there's going to be legal challenges, that there will be lawsuits. But this law, the ruling that came down today, this is like the third round. Each round prior was challenged by lawsuits from the telcos, the cable companies, the trade groups who would profit from having the ability to charge for access lanes.
So we'll have to see whether or not they go back and do that again. At this point, sort of an open question as to whether or not the market adjusts to it or whether they keep fighting it in the very short term. Jenny Jardin, tech culture reporter and co-editor of boingboing.net. Jenny, thank you. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rachel.
All right.